Hello everybody and welcome to a collection video today, or I should say a collection by type video. Today I'll be showing my entire Sun Country fleet. Here we have 11 different Sun Country models here, spread out over multiple different eras of the airline and even to different operations within the airline of Sun Country. Cough, that one, cough. So we'll kind of just go through these in order, and we'll save the primary for last because that one's a little bit different. But we will begin over here with these DC-10s right here. So this is actually the most recent pickup of mine, even though ironically it is the oldest in terms of when it flew. So here we have this Aero Classic Sun Country DC-1010. As you can see, it is in very old livery right here for Sun Country, but it honestly looks pretty cool. Very retro looking indeed, but a very cool livery right there. So this was the airline the livery that Sun Country flew back when they were just a charter airline. Flew out of Terminal 2 at MSP. They had some DC-1010s, they had DC-1010s, 15s, and then some 727s as well. So this is the oldest in terms of when this actually flew out of the rest of the fleet, but it is the newest acquisition. So yeah, this is by Aero Classics. It looks very nice right here, and glad to have it in the collection. It has rolling landing gear and all that, although I wouldn't suggest rolling the Aero Classics landing gear, but very nice right there. This is actually the oldest in my fleet in terms of when I got it. This one I picked up back in 2016, winter of 2016. I actually distinctly remember getting this model because this one was given to me back when I was in cancer treatment, so that's pretty fun. So this is the 1999, I believe, release by Gemini Jets of the Sun Country DC-1015, and this one is in a little slightly more recognizable livery. These flew until 2001, before Sun Country then retired the DC-10. But yeah, very nice right here, all in white instead of the typical blue or orange, I guess, that we see nowadays. But I mean, there's plenty of orange on here. The Sun Country font is the font that we're more used to, although it is going away, but that is similar to what we see on their older livery planes these days. But yeah, this is I believe a 1999. Maybe it's not. I mean, that might be a little bit too old. It might be a 2001 release by Gemini Jets. Well, then there's another 2001 release by Gemini Jets that's in here. So maybe I was right with my original assessment of 1999. But this is an old Gemini Jets release, and it's also the oldest in my fleet of all these Sun Country. This is actually the first Sun Country model that was ever made, I believe. So that's pretty cool right there. Now moving into some more recent Sun Country models. And I mean aircraft types as well, I guess. Even though they don't fly these anymore, Sun Country recently retired their last 737-700. But here we see their old livery on the 737-700 with winglets, the blended winglets right here. This is number 716 Sierra Yankee. You can see it has the Cambria logo right there, as the same people who owned the Cambria company also owned Sun Country for a little while there, I believe from 2011 to 2017. Coincidentally, also when Sun Country grew a whole lot, and I mean now they're growing even more, but I think they contributed a lot to the airline's success here, as they got it out of bankruptcy. But yeah, Sun Country nowadays is doing quite well. Unfortunately, they're not flying these guys anymore. I did get the chance to fly in a Sun Country 737-700 back in the day to San Francisco, and from San Francisco, but yeah, they are no longer flying these, but it is a pretty cool little model right here. This is a Waffle Collectibles exclusive made by Panda Models. This 700 right here is an NG model, 713 Sierra Yankee. This is the last one that Sun Country had in their fleet, and it is now retired. Named Lake Superior, which is ironic because this is also the smallest plane that they had in their fleet for a while there. Lake Superior, obviously the largest lake in North America, which it borders Minnesota. So that's pretty cool right there. This is in the Ariel text font livery. The only model that was ever made in that livery proper. We'll get to another one that's kind of like that one in a little bit, but we'll save that one for a few more aircraft. This one is the 2001 release by Gemini Jets, the 737-800 without winglets. As you can see, the font is a little bit off on this one, and the colors are also a little bit off on this model by Gemini. But it was their first attempt at a Sun Country model of this livery, so I'll give them a pass for that one. The S, you can kind of see the S just does not look quite right if we compare it to this one, for example. So that's pretty fun right there, but yeah, not a whole lot of detail on this one as you'd expect from a model of 2001, but still very glad to have this one in the collection. Next up here, we have, this is the 2013 release by Gemini Jets. This one I picked up quite recently. Well, maybe not quite recently. This was about, I don't know, a little more than 6 months ago, I want to say. It's been a little while since I picked this one up. But yeah, this is the 737-800 with the old livery and blended winglets. As you can see, just the color differences between these two are quite significant. They're quite noticeable. Also, the font with the Sun Country has been updated to be the correct font with this model. This is, remember, 804 Sierra Yankee, or 809, sorry, 809 Sierra Yankee. I did get the chance to fly this aircraft in real life, so that's pretty cool. This one, by the way, has now been retired. That's 800 Sierra Yankee. But yeah, this aircraft I have flown on in real life. Flew it down to Cancun, Mexico last spring break. So that's about a year ago and by now. Here we have this 737-800. This is the there's a 7-year hiatus between these two aircraft, and this is the next Sun Country release after that one. This is a 2020 release by NG models of the Tide Pod 737-800. This is a 815 Sierra Yankee. And so yeah, just the basic Tide Pod livery right here, but definitely a workhorse in the Sun Country fleet, and glad to have this model. This one also a pretty recent pickup. I got this one off of eBay a few months ago, and super glad to now have it in the collection. It is a quite valuable asset at MSP, as that is a very common aircraft that flies into there. Next up here we have this one. It's very unique. This is the Transavia Sun Country hybrid livery on the 737-800. This one is the other one with the Arial text font on it, but it is not in the blue livery, obviously. So this one would regularly fly for Transavia. This is something that they used to do. Sun Country would lease a Transavia airplane then over the summer when travel was in demand. I guess it wasn't exclusively in the summer, but they would lease Transavia planes and they would put their logo on it, but they wouldn't take off the Transavia logo. They actually used to take it off and have a blue Sun Country logo on a white background, which is very peculiar. But this is one of the later examples here. One of the last times they did that. They no longer do this anymore, unfortunately, I guess, because these are pretty cool to see. And also, it was a better experience on the inside. I got to fly on one of these Hotel Sierra Kilo I got to fly on. That's referring to the European registration in the background. Or on, sorry, the registration on the back of the aircraft, not really the background, is it? I'm recording this really late. And so sorry that my speaking is not going very well so far, but yeah, the interior is all green. The seats were better than regular Sun Country seats on these Transavia hybrid livery aircraft, so that's pretty cool right there. And yeah, glad to have this one. This is a 2022 release by NG Models, and super glad to have picked this one up. Quite a niche model, but it works in my case, and it's also really cool that I flew in not this particular aircraft, but a similar one. Here we have another Waffle Collectibles exclusive. This is the Panda model 737-800 with split scimitars in the Tide Pod livery. This is the first Tide Pod model that I picked up back in 2022. Yeah, looks great. This is before they had the 40 years of flight sticker on it, because Gemini made this exact same aircraft, and that's the next one we'll see right here. So I guess we can kind of do these both in conjunction. So here's a Gemini Jets one from this past year, released back in January of 2023. This one has the 40 years of flight sticker on it, but it is the same registration, 842 Sierra Yankee. I was kind of mad that Gemini Jets made this particular aircraft because they should have made one with blended winglets, because that is a more common aircraft in the Sun Country fleet, and also that was already made by Panda models for Waffle Collectibles with that one. So this is probably like the worst case scenario for Gemini Jets to make this aircraft. So if they're going to make a Tide Pod livery, they could have made any other one with blended winglets, which was more common, and not the exact same registration that Panda models already made. So I was on the fence about getting this model in the first place, but I'm glad I did end up picking it up, because it has been quite useful at MSP. But yeah, that'll do it for the... Also, I guess another thing I'm going to point out, the terrible wing flex on this model. But yeah, that'll do it for the passenger fleet. And now we do have this cargo aircraft right here. Now this is technically operated by Sun Country Airlines. This primary 737-800 right here by Phoenix models. So that's pretty cool right there. Sun Country operates, I want to say 10 Primair 737-800s. So that's pretty cool. Very unique part of Sun Country is just such a weird airline, but glad to have them here at MSP, their home airport. So I guess kind of our hometown airline ever since Northwest was merged into Delta. But yeah, that'll do it for this video on the Sun Country Airlines fleet. I believe this is the biggest on YouTube. If you have a bigger Sun Country Airlines fleet, feel free to correct me in the comments below, and I'd love to see a video of your collection, because that would be quite impressive, to be honest. I mean, not a whole lot of Sun Country models that have been made. A lot of them have been made recently, and I haven't picked up all the ones recently, like notably the NG 737-700 with this same livery. 714 Sierra Yankee. That one I did not buy because I already had that one. Aero Classics made a 727 that I don't have, and there's another NG 737-800 with the old livery, 804 Sierra Yankee, which that was long sold out before I was really collecting all that much. So yeah, unfortunate, that sad times there, I guess. But yeah, super glad to have this collection. It's super fortunate that I was able to pick up some of these models, because a lot of them are quite rare now, and I am very glad to be able to show these at MSP updates every other week, basically. And then Retro MSP, I'll try to get these two in, and then also the 700s as well. But yeah, thank you for checking out this little collection video of my Sun Country collection. Let me know if you've flown on Sun Country, if you have any cool experiences with them, because I don't know, you can have a really good experience or a really poor experience with Sun Country, I feel like. And I've definitely had both in my lifetime, on my many experiences on Sun Country Airlines, being, of course, from the Twin Cities. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. This is a very long outro. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.